So I spent a lot of time on that drawing, and as you can see, I have quite a bit of pencil work. And I already know if I try to take watercolor over that pencil, it's going to make this mushy gray color. So I need to make a copy. A time-honored way to make copies is to use a light box, or in my case, a window. So the first thing I needed was a copy of my drawing. So I took it to the copy machine and I made 2 or 3 copies. Now I have some extras I can stash away for future use. So I used the copy, put that on the window, and then I took my watercolor paper and taped that on top. And then all I needed to do was trace through just the outlines very lightly. So you can see here I'm using an H pencil, actually a 2H pencil, so I make sure that my lines are very light. Okay, so right here I have on the left I have the copy from my copy machine, and on the right the tracing from the window. Now I just need to spend some time just correcting some of the unfinished petals. So begin carefully, just looking at your original, looking at your current drawing and comparing. And you can see a little action with my left hand, and that helps my right hand easily find the same spot. If you look closely, you can see the correlation between my 2 hands. Move around the page, measuring, looking at the petals, and deciding what needs to be added and what doesn't. And I have to keep in mind that I will be using paint, and I feel strongly about paint is like drawing, so I don't have to draw everything right now. I just need to be able to have enough cues to be able to paint. Okay, so I'm ready to paint, and it's a pretty good idea to paint in your background first. And so you can see I'm trying a technique called wet on wet. So I'm actually just painting water around the background, pretty fun. And then you'll see I'll start adding some blue sky color, and I will let the colors just run together. So right, just start adding the blue color. I am using kind of one of my larger brushes for 9 by 12 piece of watercolor paper. You could choose a smaller brush if you want. I just try to keep everything really loose, and I want a very kind of loose background where the colors can kind of run together. So it's a pretty good way to go. Do remember that wherever I painted the water, that's where the paint's going to go. So it should pretty much stay off of the petals. There you're seeing I'm kind of stamping in a cloth, just trying to get a little cloud effect. You could use a Q-tip or a cloth of any type, and you just kind of just stamp it off. It's almost kind of erasing it out. So it's a fun technique to try. And you may know some other techniques, maybe salt or rubbing alcohol, or using plastic to get some different techniques into your background. Like I said, like a stamping technique, and it gives a dry area which you can go back in and add paint if you like. Yeah, just keep experimenting. And it's really good to think about experimenting with this, and not that every piece of art you're going to make is going to be museum ready or ready to hang in the gallery. That you just try new things, and when things kind of come together and you get some really good ideas, and then maybe you go for a painting that you might give as a gift or something that's going to be framed. So I did start another painting. I started with a pencil drawing. I used the window again and made a copy, and then I used an indelible ink, a type of pen that won't smear. It's water resistant, so make sure you read the label carefully before you start to watercolor. I'd love to work in pen and ink, and you could outline it completely like I did, or choose some of the lines to outline and some of them not to outline. And you could add texture like dots or lines or any sort of repetition of pattern. And there's lots of information on how to draw with pen and ink that you could look up and try, or just make up your own. So I started this painting as the background to my first painting was drying, because I can't work on the petals or do too much with it as it's still so very wet. So you can go ahead and start another painting, and maybe even a third one, and maybe make a goal of changing up the color plan for each of your paintings, so you have some little experiment going on, and seeing which one works out best for you. I'd love to hear from you, so please send me a photo of your artwork, and yeah, Cindy Noid on Instagram.